Hey guys, Ryan here, also known as Halogen for Squadron Media, and today I'm joined by
GamerTags44, also known as Jordan.
And today, I almost cut you off there, we will be reviewing Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. That's right. We are reviewing one of the most anticipated movies of 2016 for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we're going to do it pretty similar to a lot of people. We're going to do a big non-spoiler part where we each give our thoughts on certain aspects of the movie. And then we will give it a grade, and then we'll count down to 5 and get into an open spoiler discussion where we'll just basically, just talk about the movie, how we felt about certain spoilers. So we highly recommend checking out the non-spoiler part if you haven't seen the movie, but don't check out the spoiler part, because there are some spoilers here and there that you wouldn't have expected, even though the trailer did spoil a lot of it, and Zack Snyder said it didn't, so, maybe you've already had it spoiled. Overall, I thought this was an entertaining and enjoyable movie. I liked it. It was kind of messy. The trailer kind of ruined some aspects of it, but it was still good. If you saw trailer 3, you know kind of what to expect from it. It's a bit of a mess, especially near the end, but it was still a fun movie. I think I might be in the minority in saying that I actually loved the first half. I know not a lot happened, but I liked the build-up. I thought it was interesting. I thought that everything fell into place fairly well. I thought some of the build-up was a little bit stupid, like the build-up to the actual fight with the whole... I'm not going to spoil it, but it was a little forced and a little awkward. But I thought the reasoning behind people being afraid of Superman was sort of justified. I like that. I thought it was kind of more of a political thriller almost. Really well shot. It had its flaws. Some things were forced. Some things were goofy. But obviously, it was pretty cool. I really like that part. And people are kind of mixed. Some people like that part more because it's more interesting. Because it had like sort of almost... I know a lot of people disagree. Almost the depth of the Dark Knight. It was getting to aspects. It was interesting. It was intriguing. And I really liked that. But, the second half, I didn't really love that much. I thought it was pretty cool visually, the second half. But it had a lot of problems, I think. All the problems I really had with the movie were more in the second half. Specifically, when something happens with Batman. And I'll talk about that in a little bit.
I agree with Halogen about most things. I disagree a bit about the second half. I thought it was pretty good. There was definitely problems with it. Although I did enjoy it. Now, the first half seemed like it could have gotten boring-ish a little bit at some parts. I think they did the first half really well, though. I thought the build-up towards their fight, Batman vs. Superman, was really cool. And in the end, I was a bit disappointed by the fight itself. I thought it was small, and it could have honestly been better. And I know if you've seen trailer number 3, you can see what happens later on. I won't exactly say what it is now, but I think they kind of focused on that later on than what could have been this awesome fight between Batman and Superman. The build-up, like I said, though, was really good. I thought that they needed the fight to be just as good to make it actually this awesome movie.
So, we're about to say the thing that we never thought we were going to say, and
Definitely.
that is...
Ben Affleck was good as Batman.
Yeah, he was pretty great. I thought Ben Affleck was a good Batman. He was a solid Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Not the best Bruce Wayne. He moved between the two pretty well. I thought he was a great Batman.
Yeah.
I thought the suit was awesome. I thought the simplistic logo was pretty cool.
Although it was
the bat symbol.
It was just the one from the Batman Returns.
I know, but that's like one of my favorites.
It was good to see.
That was awesome, and it was sort of kind of like that Dark Knight Returns. That was what it was kind of going for, I think, with the whole movie. Yeah. Him being older, they're trying to go for that, which I thought was pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
There was 2 problems about Batman, though. The first one is something Boogie said. He wasn't necessarily developed too much. Yeah. Like, it was all a little fast. Like, he was a great character, but I didn't like the seeing his origin story again.
Yeah, I thought there was no point. We've seen that, like, a lot of... Well, we saw... It was like, what, 2004 or whatever, that Batman Begins came out? Well, we saw him falling through the well and everything already. I didn't think we need to see it again.
And the parents dying, we've seen that a bit, even in 1989 Batman.
Yeah. If we didn't need to see an origin at all.
I thought it was kind of pointless, because everyone knows the origin. Yeah. Even people who don't even like Batman pretty much know the origin of it. That's kind of his driving force, Even before I became a Batman fan, I'd always joke about his parents and stuff, that classic joke. Because that's the one thing everyone could make fun of Batman for, is his obsession with his parents. And the other thing is, he frickin' kills people. Yeah. That was my least favorite part of the movie. As soon as he really killed his first person in real life, that was when the movie went downhill.
The first part I saw, I remember, was when he was driving the Batmobile and he pulls that giant machine gun out,
that
shoots him, and it just explodes.
Yeah, and like I knew he was gonna kill people because I saw a review. I think it was Chris Stuckman's review. Yeah, they said he was gonna kill people. I'm like, oh, it better only be little people. And I'm like, he's a mass murderer.
Yeah,
that goes against everything Batman stood for.
He even branded people in this movie.
Yeah, but it was all right. It was kind of weird.
It was just brutal. Like, yeah, I know there was that.
He was a bit too brutal. I think a bit. You know,
like there was the scene when it was on the final trailer. Actually, when he's fighting all those people, at one point he actually grabs someone's arm and breaks the bone like out of their elbow and stuff.
Unbelievable. But
insane.
Superman. Do you agree with me on that?
Okay.
He's not good or bad. He's just there for me.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a great Superman. I don't think he's a terrible Superman. I don't even think he's he's just there, in my opinion. He doesn't really, nothing good or bad. Obviously everyone's expecting a certain character who is female to come in. And I don't know if that classifies as a spoiler, but everyone knows she's coming in. She was awesome, by the way, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Really liked the actress who played her. That's all I'm going to get at. Amy Adams as Lois Lane. Now, there was one scene with Lois Lane that I liked, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section. But she did pretty well, I thought.
Yeah.
Some people didn't like her very much, but I thought she was a good part of the movie.
She seems like a good Lois Lane.
She was a good Lois Lane. I liked having her as Lois Lane. It was pretty interesting. She was a great driving force. But now, Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor. Why? So, supposedly, like...
Actually, it's Alexander Luthor.
Alexander Luthor. Supposedly, it was actually supposed to be Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor, but... Why? Like, I know Jesse Eisenberg was cast for something else, but then they made him Lex Luthor, but why did he have to be Lex Luthor?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care for Lex Luthor as a villain. They tried to make him more psychotic and young, and it was weird. Like, the Jolly Rancher scene.
Yeah, definitely.
That was one of the first moments. I thought he did a good job with the acting.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the acting was good. And I thought some of the things he did in his plan were interesting. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to spoil any of it, but I thought it was pretty interesting. He had no motivations, though.
Yeah.
Why was he against Superman so much? Yeah. There was no reasoning whatsoever, in my opinion.
The only thing I ever heard is that he said that, like, people need to know that he can be stopped, or, like, something like that.
But there was, like, it was so confusing. It was hard. That was one of the worst things about the movie, was Lex Luthor had no motivation. And that's something that not a lot of people have talked about, and it was frustrating. He had no reasoning. He had a little bit of reasoning. He probably did. But they could have explained it more. He was just a boring villain. And I liked it how he was a little crazy and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I liked some scenes, but they went over the top.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I liked one of the quotes. What was it? The devils don't come from the hell beneath us. They come from the sky. I liked that quote. That was a good scene. That was, so that whole confrontation with the senator, I'm not going to really spoil it, was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. That was where I was like, actually, he's not that bad as Lex Luthor, but after some stupid scenes that we'll talk about in the spoiler section, he wasn't very good anymore. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I would give this movie probably about a 7.5.
Yeah, I'd give this movie a B-, I think. I think that's good. This is my thing about this movie, okay? It wasn't a disappointment. What do you say?
No, I wouldn't.
I really enjoyed it,
definitely.
lot. And it wasn't a disappointment at all for me. It just wasn't that good of a movie.
Yeah.
This is the weird thing. Did you ever see that movie Oblivion?
No, I didn't.
Okay, like, that movie had a lot of problems. It was kind of stupid at parts. It was a little weird, a little forced. But I still loved that movie. Like, I saw all the flaws. But it wasn't a disappointment because I still loved the movie. And I want to get that movie on Blu-ray because I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, it's sort of along the line of Oblivion. I think it's that kind of movie where you can notice the flaws and it's far from perfect. But you really enjoy it if you're a fan. So, like, the fanboy side of me, loved it. The critical side, didn't really buy it. That's my whole thing with this movie. But anyways, we're going to get to spoiler section in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the setup for this movie was good. We said that already.
Yeah.
Like, Lex Luthor, as we said before, he has that meeting with the senator, which we really like. And one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie probably was that Senate meeting where the guy in the wheelchair came in and that was a bomb. And then there's Granny's peach tea. And then it's a jar of pee. I thought everyone was like in shock. It was like one of the scenes that I thought Lex Luthor was going to be good, but then later on in the movie, he turns out to be like one of the stupidest villains. like ever. So I like that scene. I didn't really care. I don't know why everyone crazily blamed Superman for all the stuff in Africa or whatever.
Yeah,
I didn't really care for some of the build up was a little iffy, I think. Now Superman, one of the things I think was sort of a driving force was Superman's love for Lois Lane. I think they tried to use that a lot in the movie. Would you agree? And there was one scene, the bathtub scene.
Oh yeah.
Which I think every guy at least unanimously liked. That was a pretty popular scene.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite critics, Chris Stuckman and the Flick Pick, both said they loved it in their spoiler review. So that was a good scene. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I did like Lois Lane. I think a lot of people didn't care for her.
Lois Lane.
And later in the movie, when she tries to retrieve the spear and almost drowns,
Yeah.
I have a hard time. I don't know about you watching underwater scenes when they're having a hard time breathing. It's one of those things. Like, you know how some people have to cover their ears when loud stuff happens? I always have a hard time watching those underwater scenes. But the build-up, for the most part, was good.
Yeah.
The one thing about the build-up to the Batman vs. Superman fight, and I mentioned this, was how I thought it was really stupid how Lex Luthor set it up. We have the bat signal on for half an hour, and Lex Luthor's like, oh, well, to save your mom, you gotta fight the bat. Or he's like, oh, to save your mom, you gotta fight the bat.
Honestly, I never knew that Superman's mother's name was the same as Bruce Wayne's.
And that's something we're gonna get to. That was both good and bad, almost.
Yeah.
It was a weird moment. But the setup for the fight was stupid. But let's talk about the fight, because even though it was like 5 minutes long,
it was still pretty cool.
It was probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, it was
like
awesome.
The 5 minutes. They were awesome. It was, at first, I didn't like it how it was like unbalanced for both of them. I didn't really care for the kryptonite from Batman's behalf, and then Superman knocked on. But when they started trading punches,
okay, when I saw the trailers for this movie and he has this suit, it didn't really seem like it actually did much.
But it's an awesome looking suit.
It's just like, in the end, Batman mostly just used kryptonite to take him down.
But when they're punching, I thought that was cool.
I thought that the battle was going to be like this huge battle that like goes all over like Metropolis or Gotham, and it has
like 20 minutes long.
Yeah, so and Batman's suit. I thought it was going to be like not as strong as Superman's suit, but actually like do something against it.
Which was not quite as crazy as the fight with Zod. Which, speaking of which, I thought the scene where Bruce saw all those people dying between the fight with Superman and Zod, that was really interesting with the little girl. And, I thought that was interesting, and he was slowly driven insane by the letters and stuff. Yeah. Lex Luthor, he was an evil man, even though he had no purpose, really no reasoning, which was really stupid. And I didn't like that, but I hope they explain it. But is this going to be his only movie? I'm wondering, is that going to be the only movie that he's going to be the villain in?
I don't think so. I think he'll probably have some sort of part in Justice League.
Hopefully, kind of. Like, I don't like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but I want them to use him so they explain his whole thing. Yeah. He wasn't really that great of a villain. Yeah. That was one of my biggest complaints was that and Batman killing people. Those were my two biggest complaints. But the fight itself was good.
Yeah, definitely.
I was happy Batman won, even though it was predictable.
Yeah.
And we won quite a bit. We won quite a bit of bets with people. Yeah. Because you and I were like, even my dad, he thought Superman was going to win, but he was shocked how can Batman beat Superman? Well, Batman wins every time, right? But this was a very well done fight. It was really good. It was really emotional. It's one of my favorite movie fights in a while. If it was only longer. Yeah. Like, I'm actually kind of the opposite of you. Like, when fights are really long, sometimes I don't really care for them. Like, an example, you really liked Anakin versus Obi-Wan. I didn't like it that much. It went on a bit too long.
Well, I wanted this one to be more spread out. That was one of the things I was hoping. Like, it started on that one roof. He got blasted. Superman hit him through the building, and then they went straight into that other building. That's, like, the only battleground for them after that.
Yeah, by the way, if you're wondering about why his face is split, it's actually hints for Two-Face to be in the new Justice League and the Ben Affleck directed Batman movie, by the way. So that's totally not an accident. Like I said before, I thought the battle was good, but let's talk about another battle. The Doomsday one. So you liked it, so you tell me.
I did okay. I didn't nearly like the look of Doomsday. I thought he looked stupid, but I liked the battle itself, how he was like super powerful, and they had to bring Wonder Woman in, and then they had this huge fight, the three of them against him.
I felt Wonder Woman was a little forced to put in. Like, it was kind of weird timing.
I thought she was a good character, though.
But I wish it was just Batman versus Superman. I really did. Yeah. I guess the Doomsday stuff was alright. He was a little OP for a bit there.
Yeah. I thought I get that Kryptonite was able to like defeat him, but it seemed a little weird when one Kryptonite spear could take him down.
Yeah.
When like going all the way up to space, getting hit by like a nuke, hitting the ground, and everything didn't do anything.
I know, it was... Yeah.
I thought that would be a bit more effective against him. Like Superman, he was almost dead at that point.
Yeah,
when the nuke hit them in space.
And the way the Doomsday's brought about too is just dumb.
I kind of wish that they did it a little bit more together though. Like it shows Superman goes to save Lois Lane when she's like drowning, and it's kind of like Batman's dodging all of his attacks, which I actually thought that part was awesome when he uses the grapnel hook and he like jumps off a building and stuff. And one thing I didn't get though is, you know how when they got hit by the nuke and Doomsday fell down to Earth, he landed on Stryker's Island, which probably correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I thought that was like the kind of Arkham Asylum to Metropolis, but I'm not sure. I thought it was that.
Okay, so if he's wrong, correct him in the comments, DC fans.
But why did Batman lure him back to the city when he could have just kept him there and got the Kryptonite spear himself?
Yeah, that's true.
Like keep him away from the people. Like
that is a good point.
Like why didn't? Like, I guess Wonder Woman wasn't there at the time, but, like, Wonder Woman, once she got there, could, like, hold Doomsday off while Batman gets the spear.
Again, correct us in the comments if we got this wrong, because I thought they explained something, but I kind of forget it. It's a little rusty on this. Now, I think before we get to the Superman dying thing, which was totally stupid in my opinion, let's talk about the Justice League cameos. They were bad.
Like, Flash and everyone?
That was bad.
Okay.
Flashes was
He doesn't even... Yeah, okay. I liked that they were... I liked how they did it, though, because I didn't like that I didn't want all of them to be
I just love it how there's, like, this nice logo for every one of them. Like, why would they have why would they take the time to design a logo for each one like that?
I liked that they did it that way, though, instead of them actually being in the movie, because I didn't want it to be all these other people. I wanted it to still just be Batman vs. Superman, even though I thought Wonder Woman was really good.
And then Aquaman was stupid as always. It was like, I can't believe they actually took it seriously. Like, if I was sitting there, I didn't like Cyborg either. I don't care for Cyborg.
I don't like Cyborg either. I think he sucks.
Yeah, he's kind of a...
Half the time he's in Teen Titans.
Teen Titans Go! That's one of the worst shows of all time. And then, but I thought that the email thing was kind of weird too. And I predicted that. I said, I bet there's going to be an email setting up the Justice League. I said that as a joke, and it happened. I think I heard something from the Chris Stuckman review, maybe, but I totally forgot about that. So it was kind of... He might have mentioned that in the review, but still... Why?
I don't get why they needed to show, like, Cyborg and stuff. I thought there could have been other Justice League members that could have been... Even Green Arrow, though. I like Green Arrow.
Oh, Green Arrow, yeah. Even though the show's going downhill, apparently. I still gotta start watching some of those DC shows, but I don't watch TV. But anyway, so Superman dies at the end, but he's not actually dead.
Well, it shows because, you know, the dirt's floating or whatever, which it shows that on Man of Steel, when he's about to fly, kind of like everything around him kind of floats around a little bit.
I would have actually been happy, I don't know if any people agree with me, that if Superman did die, and then the Justice League was going to be a non-Superman Justice League. Would you... I don't have a problem with Superman, just from a story perspective, I would have liked that.
That'd be kind of weird.
Although the way he died was pretty stupid, too.
Yeah,
it was
he sacrificed
himself. It was the way he sacrificed himself. I didn't like it. I didn't think they did a very good job with it myself.
Well, I guess what you could have done is the spear was partway into Doomsday. Yeah. And Doomsday had that like thorn spear kind of going right into Superman, and Superman pulled himself through. Why didn't he just grab the end of the spear and whatever it was going into his chest and just break it off?
I know it was a little odd, but. I enjoyed the movie. It had a lot of flaws, and I thought the flaws were mostly in the second half. We said before, okay, I'm going to say something. We said before that we liked the setup for all the fights. Yeah. Definitely. I didn't like the setup at the end of the setup, you know, when they were getting to the setup between Batman and Superman. I thought that was poorly done with the bat signal. And the letters, and then Lex Luthor getting involved. But anyways, what are your guys' thoughts on this movie? If we missed anything, we'll answer your questions below. And we hope to see you on our next reviews and our next podcast, which should be coming in. We might be hitting podcast number 10 soon. So we'll see you later. Hopefully our Stupid Hero show of Batman and Robin will come out in the next 2 weeks, I'm hoping. Yeah, because we got to do that one, because everyone wants that one. But anyways, enough of this. See you all later. Bye.